video is for our kindergarten through 4th grade team for November week 3. So this month we are learning about the life app of contentment, learning to be okay with what you have, which is such a great life app for this month leading up to Christmas. Our memory verse, sorry, I am not showered today. Then he said to them, watch out, be on your guard against wanting more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has. Luke 12:15. That is our memory verse for this month. Learning all about contentment. So the first week we heard about Paul learning to be content. Last week we heard about King Ahab and a story of not being content. This week we are going to hear the story of the Israelites longing for Egypt when they're in the desert. And our bottom line is, don't miss out on what you have now. So a little summary for this week says, in week 3 we head to Exodus chapters 16 and 17 with a look at how God's people responded while they were traveling through the wilderness. God had rescued them from slavery in Egypt, yet when they found themselves in uncomfortable situations, they complained that God didn't care about them. They even said that they wanted to return to Egypt. In spite of that, God continued to meet their needs in the wilderness and provided what they needed the whole time. So our bottom line, don't miss out on what you have now. If you're only thinking about what we don't have, we might miss out on celebrating the ways God is taking care of us. It's all too easy to look at our present circumstances and think we need something else to make us happy. God has something different in mind for us. Contentment is finding the joy in what God has provided here and now. So we pray that kids will start seeing the good in their lives rather than complaining and missing out. What a great story for today. So our first little interactivity is not really an activity. As kids come in, you're going to tell the kids you're going to have like a bag. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do yet, if it's going to be like a gift or just like fruit snacks. But I will have like a brown paper bag, something they can't see through, and you're going to make sure that the kids know that you have a treat in there for them and that they're going to get it at the end of the day. So ask them to give guesses what's in the bag, but don't tell them yet. And a little icebreaker question you can ask as they're coming in, what's the best gift you have ever received and what's the best experience you've ever looked forward to? So then the actual kind of little interactivity is they're going to decorate birthday cakes. So they've got a little sheet like this. And what they're going to do is they're going to decorate their ideal birthday cake. So they could put the number of candles on it for how old they are. If they're like 7.5, they could put a half candle on there. And what you're going to say is, remember when you were a toddler and had no homework or chores? Life was easier then. And think about it. In just a few years, some of you guys are going to be driving and you can go anywhere. So where will you go first? Life is easy when we were younger, and there are lots of amazing experiences ahead for all of us. But what is the best thing about being your age right now? So have them talk about what's the best thing about being 5 or 6 or 8 or 9 or 10. And then have them kind of tell you about it and say sometimes we get caught up remembering what's easier when we were younger or what will be great when we're older, but we miss out on the awesome stuff that's right where we are. So let's go hear about some people in the Bible who had this problem too. So this is telling you to have kids glue candles on the cakes. We're not doing that. They're just going to kind of decorate them. So then at 10 after, you will head over to large group. Oh, I forgot to say, we would love for you to join us at 8:20 and 10:20 in the garage door room. I love this time of prayer. It has been absolutely amazing. I know for people serving second service, it's really hard to get back there by 10:20, but please try, just because it's such a great time to really come together as community. Then just make sure you're in your small group by 8:30 and 10:30, because kids will start coming in the door at 8:40 and 10:40, and that's when you can do those interactivities. So then at 9:10 and 11:10, you are going to go across the hall to large group to hear the story about the Israelites for today. When you get back, you've got 2 review activities. I would say this first one is probably the best one to do first. And then if you have time, you can do the sticky note picture. So the first one is called Now and Later Clues, and I have these up by your folders in your carts. And I have to print off the answer pages. And this top one got cut off. It says the Israelites were remembering me in, so that's Egypt. Moses blanked to God for help. So Moses called to God for help. In the mornings, God gave the Israelites manna to eat. The Israelites couldn't save and eat. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look. Moses got water from the rock. You can be thankful for what you have right now. And then what they're going to do is they're going to unscramble these letters to win a prize. So obviously, our bigger kids are going to be able to do this on our own. Little kids, you might have to do this all together or in smaller groups. You're going to have to help them, maybe ask them the questions, and then help them to unscramble all the letters. And then you can give them a little prize. We're probably just going to do like the little fruity candies that are left over from last week as a little prize for that activity. So, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to say, so some of those clues were tricky, and I'm glad that you guys solved it and got the prize. But about those prizes, how do you think they compare with the big prize that you guys are going to get after small group? And kind of have the kids talk about it. Some might suggest that you just give them the big prize now. Some might say this prize isn't as great. Have you ever had a prize that was greater or more impressive than the one that I just gave you? So they probably will, since it's just a Tootsie Roll. And say, we will get an awesome prize at the end of small group. And it sounds like some of you have had great prizes before. Well, in our Bible story today, the Israelites were stuck in the idea that the better times of their lives were behind them. They got scared and thought that God had forgotten them, and they actually forgot that God had rescued them and given them their freedom. God took care of them by feeding them in the middle of nowhere with food from heaven and water from a rock. God was showing them that no matter where they were, He was with them and He was going to take care of them right now. They were so caught up in wishing for their past and worrying about their future that they missed what God was doing in the present. Have you guys ever been like that? And then maybe talk about a time when you were anticipating something or living in the past, and say there's always going to be things to look forward to and good times to remember. But it's important that you don't miss out on what you have now. And then the second little review activity, these little sticky note pictures, you can have kids find a partner, and you're going to have the partners sit back to back and give each kid a sticky note and a pencil. And as they sit back to back, ask them to draw something that they are thankful for on their sticky note without their partner seeing it. And when most of the kids have finished drawing, call for their partners to turn around and place their sticky note on their partner's forehead. Remind kids their partner doesn't get to see the picture. They're putting it on their forehead. And then one at a time, you're going to call each pair to the front of the group, and you're going to have the artist give clues to their partner to guess what they're thankful for without sharing what it is, kind of like the game Heads Up. So the partner can't see what's on their head. The person who drew it is going to give them clues. And you'll just, if you have time, you can play this with each group and say, we have so many things to be thankful for, like our homes, our families, our school, a few other things that the kids put on their sticky notes. And when it comes to being content, it's really important to stop and take a look at what you have now and be grateful. If we only focus on what we don't have, contentment is impossible. So this week, stop and say thank you and be grateful for things so you don't miss out on what you have now, which is so true because this week is Thanksgiving. So then for the little memory verse activity, what you're going to do is you're going to have two, they're not going to be hula hoops, they'll probably be like little, like wreath, I don't know how to describe it, like little metal wreath things that you're going to use as bicycle wheels. So you're going to split your group into two teams, and each team, so let's say that each team has 8 kids, okay? You're going to have one kid be the front bike tire, one kid be the back bike tire, and they'll each hold on to one of the little bicycle wheels, and then all the kids in between will link arms, and they're going to go as a bicycle down to pick up one piece of their memory verse, and then they'll kind of go as a bicycle back down to the other end. And then they'll switch who's the tires. So 2 new kids will take the tires. They'll be on the front and the back of the chain. They link arms. They ride their bike back down, get another piece of their memory verse, ride it back down. When they've got all the pieces of their memory verse, they're going to put it together in order, and then they will sit down, and whatever team has it first is the winner. So you'll just say, I've never seen that kind of bike before. Nice job working together. I think the best part of that game was being the wheel. Who agrees? So I'm glad everybody had a chance to be the wheel. But what would have happened if no one would be the chain because they just wanted to sit out and wait for their turn to be the wheel? Well, we would have had to stop the game, and that would not have been fun. So the game gave you another chance to remember, don't miss out on what you have now. Even though other fun things are coming, and even though fun stuff happened in the past, don't get so caught up in looking forward or back that you miss the fun right now. So that was the Human Bicycles memory verse game. And the last thing for the prayer, you're going to pass out the treats, whatever I decide that is. And as you hand out the treat, remind kids, don't miss out on what you have now. So if time allows, you're just going to have a quick discussion about how they could have missed out on all the great activities earlier if they had just been focused on this treat. And then just close down in prayer. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for serving. I'm so, so grateful for all of you. You guys are seriously the backbone of Oak Ridge Kids. What you do every single week is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for serving, and we'll see you on Sunday.